Love is a bumpy road, but I will hold on to you tight. Cause you light me up the moment I see you. When you're not around me, I miss you. My days seem crazy without you. They go on. You meet me on the ground when I'm falling. I'm stretched out, you wanna give me safe landing. You switch my heart in a beat and I'll keep on singing. And I 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 keep on singing. Oh, keep on singing. And I keep on singing. And I keep on switch. You are my everything, love on mine. And like the midnight oil, we can burn down the night. Oh, when I come around you, I'm catching a fever, a fever. Ooh. But I don't care, baby boy, cause we only burn brighter. Cause you light me up the moment I see you. And when you're not around me, my days seem crazy without you. They go on, on. You make me on the ground when I'm falling. I'm stretched out, you wanna give me safe landing. You switch my heart in a beat and I keep on singing for you. And I keep on singing. And I keep on singing. And I keep on singing for you. I keep on.
From the day I ran into you, I've been into you. I started asking all these questions like an interview. Like, you got a girl, a 5-year plan. Can you really handle all this when I throw it back? Yeah, like Kenny West, you denied it. And you know just what I need, yeah, need that kitari. And you got my heart and soul, yeah, need kondani. Just tell me what you need, tell me from the God. Yeah.
Keep on singing for you. And I keep on singing. And I keep on singing. Switch.
Brown sugar done killed it, brown sugar done stole it, game and ran with it. Brown sugar take it, man, no it's not the plan, but if you want it, I'm with it. Brown sugar a 10, give it my flow, then never wanna hear shit again. Pisces season again, I do this shit well and I give it 1,000%. Brown sugar done killed it, brown sugar done stole it, game and ran with it. Brown sugar take it, man, no it's not the plan, but if you want it, I'm with it. Brown sugar a 10, give it my flow, then never wanna hear shit again. Pisces season again, I do this shit well and I give it 1,000%. Motherfuckers better step your game up. Heard you only good from the waist up. Only work with real niggas that pay up.
Brown Sugar that killed it. You already know this is the 5 a.m. club. I'm your girl Sonia Pinto and my guest is here. We've just been chopping it up. I am super glad that he is here. Super grateful because this guy is one talented guy and I felt like, you guys probably need to know him. He is CJ Pixels. I wasn't able to get his name. I was just like, should I ask somebody? But I was just like, man, I don't want to, interrupt. So I wanted him to be able to come and tell us his story, tell us about his brand, tell us about how he's been in the game since 2017. He is a photographer, he's a videographer, he's a content creator. He works the lens behind the scenes, but now he is just out here doing the thing in front of the camera. CJ Pixels, guys. How you doing, CJ?
I'm well, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm well, thanks. A little cold as Nairobi is nowadays, but yeah, I'm grateful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here. Now, I want us to be able to talk about who CJ is. First of all, could you please tell us your names?
My name is Craig Kitile Mumo Mwendwa.
Mumo.
Yeah,
Wakwitu.
Wakwito from Kitui, but everyone calls me CJ. It's a family nickname from my grandfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Shout out. And that's when you just went with it. You're like,
Yeah.
CJ Pixels.
Pixels, all about the pixels.
all about the pixels.
Yeah.
So your first picture on IG was in 2017. And I was very curious. Is this when you started photography?
I think so. I don't even know what my first picture
Yeah,
is. You really looked me up,
2017. I gotta do my research, guys.
for sure. Yeah, I think that's when like I 2017. That's when like I started. I just bought a camera off my uncle and started taking pictures, and I really liked it. I didn't have a vision. I didn't have any like business plan in mind. I didn't know whether this thing was going to pay or not. Yeah, I just did it because I liked it.
You just did it.
Yeah.
You just picked up the camera and you're like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And that's how you started.
That's how it started.
What is the one thing you wish you knew when you started taking photos?
I think I would say this. I think everything was put in place. Everything that I knew at the right time. Because if I knew then what I know now, I think that would have affected my journey. So I'm just like, you know what? The fact that I didn't know some things sort of like give me that courage. Because, you know, sometimes the art of not knowing is like what gives you hope and courage. Because if you know everything, if you know the struggle, then maybe you'll be like, I don't want to go through that. Because that hopefulness comes from not knowing. You know, like the way a child doesn't know how the world works, doesn't know how it is out there. So they have all the hope in life and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool sometimes. So I'm just like, everything that I knew came at the right time.
Came at the right time.
Yeah.
That's dope. I like that perspective. Let's talk about how you got to learn about photography. Are you self-taught? Did you go to school? What was the journey like?
I'm self-taught. So this is just to tell you, whoever you are out there and you're listening, like whatever you want to do, you can do in this life. We're in the generation of free information, you know? It's all out there in the internet. It's all out there on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of you being a sponge and just absorbing everything you can, picking up the right things, the right habits, you know? Because right now, if you search on YouTube how to take a photo, you've learned something, you know?
Yeah.
If you research how to make muffins, you know, you've learned something. And applying now your character to it and your style to it. Because once you learn like the technical aspect of things, like let's say like now it's baking a cake, you've learned the right amounts of the sugar and salt and everything. Now there's things now you get to apply your character, like how you like your colors, you know, how you like your things to pop.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like information is out there and then you find it and you learn and then now you apply your style and boom, you have magic.
Boom.
Yeah.
You have magic. I like that. Yeah. Let's talk about your first paid gig. Which one was that? Because it's very special to us. You know, you always remember like your first paying gig.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
I think I'll say my first music video.
Okay.
Because like my first music video is what like paid me at least a significant amount of money. And not significant like crazy, but enough to at least remember.
You're like, yeah, I made some good money.
yeah, and it was very special and dear to me because I shot it at our place, our home in Machakos.
Nice.
My dad is the one who found locations for us. My mom made dinner for us and lunch, you know. So it was such a special thing because everyone at home was just rooting for me, you know, and I think that's one of the things that I'm lucky to have, like my parents' blessings, you know, and always being there for me. And the first thing like I did when I got that check, I got my mom like shopping in the house. And she was like, wow, this job, iko na pesa, you know?
pesa.
Yeah. So I think that was my first music video. It was for an artist called BK. Shout out to BK.
Shout out to BK.
Yeah, from Thika. So it was really dope, and he was a young growing artist like myself. So I was allowed the room to experiment, and the room to play with it, and the room to make mistakes, because I feel like you start small, and you learn and you move,
you grow. So let's talk about your growth process now, because here you are taking pictures, then you transition into taking videos, but not just any videos, music videos. How was that transition? Why music videos? And how did you get into videography in the first place?
I think videography came out of curiosity, just wanting to learn more, wanting to see the world more, because I think I'm a very curious mind, because I was like, okay, photos are nice, but what about videos? Because videos are just motion pictures.
Yes.
In fact, that's what they're called.
That's what they are, yeah.
So they're just lots of pictures put together to make a video. So I was like, okay, let me see about this. Again, I went back on YouTube. I was like, okay, how to shoot a music video, And everything you want to learn, you learn, as long as you're passionate about it and you're curious enough about it, And music videos, I think it's because I've always been a fan of music, and not just any music, Kenyan music, and just, even our traditional music. I've always been a fan of like how our cultures put together like music, So I was like, let me go to music videos, and music videos sort of allowed me to have fun with it, because every other sort of video is sort of a bit serious, you need that fun element for it to make sense.
To make sense.
Yeah.
I hear you. You've gotten to work with so many artists: Zinia, Kagwe, Valerie Mudhoni, Blinky Bill, Njerai, DJ Ali Fresh, DJ Ivy. Bruh, how does it feel being in this creative scene? What have you learned? What growth has come of like just also being with so many people, interacting with, the big dogs in this, music scene? Take us through how that journey has been for you.
It's been a beautiful journey. And the thing I'd say is that people are nice out here, like not everyone is we have this Kenyan element, like you walk in Tao, you just walk, you don't say hi to anyone,
don't look at anyone.
You just walk. But I feel like the artist industry in Kenya, and this goes for everyone, the makeup artists, the stylists, the photographers, videographers,
the models, kila mtu
directors, everyone is nice, Guys are nice out here, and sometimes you just have to trust your instinct. You'll have to sometimes work for gigs that are not paying you as much as you are, because also we understand like artists are not like paid the way they should be paid here. So it's all about understanding each other, understanding each other's situation, seeing who suits your style also, and just working with people, also being nice to people as they are nice to you, and just spreading positivity and spreading creativity and just telling our stories,
That's incredible. You've shot some pretty dope music videos. There's Siri, there's Blame Game, Simmer Down, Anaefa. Bro, you've done amazing. I'm curious though, is there one that has your heart?
You see, now the thing with music videos they're like kids, like the most recent one is the favorite child. But then
and is this with Kirby? Is this the most recent?
Yes, Taifa Leo with
Taifa
Kirby.
Leo,
that's like my coolest project now. I'm I really
you're like,
love that. And then I'll keep watching it over and over again. But I think I always have that one favorite child. I think it has to be Spicy Season.
Ooh.
Spicy Season by Valerie Mudhoni. Shout out to Valerie.
Yeah,
I don't know. So the thing with Spicy Season, at that moment I had really like stopped working on music videos. I was like, nah, these artists are driving me crazy.
I was gonna be like, why? What's happening? The money, the shmoneys wasn't coming through.
They was not coming through. Some were frustrating me. Like shooting music videos sometimes is all about winging it. You go to some locations, the watchie is like, no, you cannot shoot here, like I was just frustrated, and I was like, you know what, I don't need to shoot these music videos. I'm done with them, So Spicy Season sort of like made me fall in love with like shooting music videos again. So it was like a remarkable point in my life. So Spicy Season.
Spicy Season. Yo, that's been incredible. What do you think about the industry as of now? You've been in the industry for quite some time. How do you think it is now, and where do you think it's going?
I would say this. The Kenyan music, like Kenyan music itself, has advanced. Like has really advanced, has really gotten out there. Because if you think about it, like 10 years ago, we didn't have as many artists as we do now making music and putting music out there. And music was not very there wasn't a lot of catalog 10 years ago as it is right now. So right now we have so many different artists. There's a song coming out every day now and then, So I feel like we have grown in that perspective because we need numbers, we need numbers. We need to be able to have like 10 Sauti Souls, 10 Nashinskis, 10 Calligraphs, 10 Kikakas, 10 Zinnias, 10 Karuns, so that an industry is a movement, and then now also the supporting elements of the music industry, like there goes a lot into that, like directors, like photographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, set designers. So for an industry to work, it needs all these elements to be able to work together. So that means that all of us everyone needs to be pushing from their end, and as long as we keep pushing and we keep penetrating, we will make enough noise for the world to be like, yo, have you seen what is happening in Kenya? So, and for the future, I'm sure it's going to get better and it's going to get bigger, So all we pray for is that the policies change, because those are the things that we cannot control, like to allow for artists to be paid, to allow for ease of access for artists to get services, and for artists to be able to even put shows together without all these crazy things that are going on out here.
Sony or Nikon?
I'll always say Sony, and it's not because that I have any sort of affiliation to the brand.
Yeah, we're like, wait, are you getting paid for this?
I'm not getting paid for it. I just like the brand, but it's just like a tool. It's just like a knife, if you chop meat, you're going to like different sorts of knives, so it's just a tool.
It's just a tool.
It's just a tool to exercise your creativity. But yes, Sony.
What do you think makes a good video?
I think a good video, or just good
visuals,
a good visuals, or any good idea is all about expression of self.
Okay.
And anything that you express yourself into is always going to be dope, because people have not seen it, because people have not seen you yet. Because we are 8 billion now of us. So, and there's only one of you. And your ideas can only come from you. So it's all about expression of self. So as long as you express yourself in your music, it's going to be you. If you express yourself in your visuals, then it's going to be you, and people are going to be like, oh, I like that. So it's all about being different and just expressing yourself, and not having that pressure, so much pressure of what is going out there, what people are absorbing, because on a business aspect, we are all about what the market wants and what the market needs, but the world needs you. So as long as you express yourself, it'll be dope.
It'll be dope. So here you are, you've been behind the camera, you've been behind the scenes. When do you get in front of the camera? When does that moment sort of like switch? Because you find there are a lot of photographers and videographers who do not even want to be seen. Do not take a photo of me. What changed? What switched? And how has that been?
I used to be that guy. I used to be that guy for, please do not take a photo of me. I do not have photos of a big chunk of my life, of myself, that is. And you're always focused on what you can see, rather than what the world needs to
Needs
see
to
you.
see,
Yeah,
yeah.
needs to see you also. So I don't think it's a switch that changed. I think it's just something in me that was like, you know what? Let me just share my journey more, you know? And that was that. And then I just got a job to just take pictures of me. And I was like, what, you guys want to see me?
You
Okay,
guys want
cool.
to see me? Wait, what job was this?
So this was for Gordon's.
Ah,
so they were
Gordon's.
like,
Yeah,
they
I was
were
gonna
like,
ask you about Gordon's actually. That was on my question
yeah.
list. Yeah.
So it was just, people just wanted to see me. And I was like, cool. And you know, the funniest thing is what? Is
Yeah.
like, every time like I post, so I could post like my work, like let's say like a music video. And people be like, oh, nice. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And
Yeah.
it will do well. And it may do well on the socials and whatnot. But anytime like I post myself, people are like, "Oh, we like that." So I'm like,
You get so
guys
much
just wanna-
interaction, yeah.
so much interaction. Anytime like I talk in front of the camera and I post that, people are like, "Oh, okay, we really like that. We want to see more of that." From the numbers, and I think also the algorithm, but also it just allows me also to interact with people more. And also, it's just sometimes it's nice to put a face to the business. People sort of like trust a face sometimes, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're like all you do is bake cakes and say, "No, I'm just a chef." You know, sometimes just take photos with holding your cake, and people be like, "Oh, that's them," you know, and
Yeah.
they'll put a face to the
To
business,
the business,
and they will
yes.
they will trust it even more. They go there, they see the face, they're like, "Oh, okay, let's see what they're about." So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I know it's scary, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You've been doing an incredible job.
Thank you.
You've really been pushing the creative scene out here. You've been breaking boundaries. Take us through the creative process. You have a brand or you have a concept that you want to be able to execute. How do you plan for it? How do you come up with very creative and out of the box content that sells or is engaging?
I'll go back to this, just the same point of just being yourself and not being scared to put your ideas out there. Because sometimes brands or people are very restricted to what they can accept, you know. So you tell them an idea, or maybe it sounds crazy, you know, but there's always someone out there who gets your crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Kenya is just but a droplet of the ocean, you know. There's such a wide audience out there, you know.
Yeah.
And my cousin always says that YouTube's your KBC. Like there's so many people who watch YouTube, you know.
Yeah,
There's a United States clientele. There's someone in Indonesia somewhere there that is going to like your stuff. So I think it's just as long as you express yourself, and me, I think it just comes from just, for me now, my creative process is just sitting down and thinking of all this. I mean, I'm just a child with a dream. Let's just say that. And sometimes I tell artists, and artists are like, I don't know how that will work for my video. And sometimes we work, sometimes we don't, and that's okay, you know. And you keep that idea. It has not gone anywhere. You'll shoot it one day.
Yeah.
And people will get you like that guy who just shoots different things, you know, just something that is cool and it's
cool
different.
and
And people will want to do that. So me, I just sit down, I think of ideas mostly through cooking, and I blast a song over and over again, and I think of how the visuals would look.
Okay.
And I see it in my head, I put it in writing.
Yeah.
And I just tell this artist I want it to be like this and this and this. Sometimes they're like, yeah, sometimes they're like, and either way it works. It ends up working out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Videography, let's talk about editing. What do you use? What apps are you using? And how can somebody be able to get into like good editing, you know, because the edits on your videos are on another level. And I feel like there's definitely room to grow and improve, which I'm sure you'll be able to do.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's starting out, what would you advise?
I would say this, however you are starting, just do it, you know.
Okay.
Like there's good apps for phones. There's InShot, there's CapCut, there's TikTok. Everyone is on their phone, you know.
Yeah,
so your
true.
phone is it's actually a very powerful device, and people are making really good apps that that do all these things that are very hard to do even in a computer, you know. So the phone is like the start of things, you know. All these apps are very powerful. And then on a computer, I use Premiere Pro.
Okay.
I use Premiere Pro, and it's not so hard. There's a lot of again, self-taught things. So you go on YouTube, you just look it up, and all these apps are just, again, tools. So it's all about you exercising your creativity. And editing is actually a very, I don't know, it's one of those things, you feel it or you don't, you know? At the start, obviously, it's going to be like, how do I do this? You're going to have to learn like the different tools and what they do, how to balance your sound and all that. And then after that, it's just you feeling the edit. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you'll feel it. You'll be like, okay, I want this here, I want this part here, I want this part here, I want this part here. And then knowing how to do it and put it together.
Nice. Post or pre production? Which one do you like most, or is your favorite? Is it post or the pre?
I think I just like the pre-production and the actual production.
Okay.
For most people out there who don't know, like post-production is actually like now the editing process and everything that comes after it, and packaging the visuals and all that.
Yeah.
So that can be a bit crazy.
It can
be a bit overwhelming. So I always just like shooting. If one day I trust an editor enough to give them my job, I will. But there's obviously like those big projects, like when we do like ads and whatnot. That the client has a budget and they have a certain editor who's on board, and people are given like specific roles. Like me, I may come in as a DOP, who's a director of photography, and that my role is just shooting. So I just shoot and give someone the card, they dump all the footage, and they find an editor. They already have an editor even on set. So yeah, I mean, if I can trust someone to give them my work, I would, and I'll just concentrate on the shooting part.
What has been your highlight of your career so far?
A highlight. Yeah, I've constantly been told by people to, especially people close to me, to look back at things and appreciate things.
Okay.
Because most times I get focused on the next goal and the next goal and the next goal at the end.
Just go to the next one.
Yeah, you're not even looking behind and seeing like what you've done so far. And like some of the artists, like you've said, now that you put them all together, I'm like, wow,
you're
that's
like,
a long list.
it is a long list.
That, you know? So I think my highlight would be working with Blinky.
Okay.
And just the whole just a band gang, and just being able to sit in their presence, because and I say presence because these are great artists, and not just Kenyan but African. You know, they've pushed the Kenyan music globally on a level that is crazy, and these are the people that I grew up watching, you know. So it's like meeting your idols, and they turn out they're just cooler in person than even you thought they were, you know. These are the guys that we used to sneak and go out to the dining hall to watch their videos. I don't know if you guys remember Mark Mende, you know?
Yeah.
I was in Form 1 when that came out, and it was the coolest thing ever.
I hear you.
So to be able to work with such guys and just sit down in their presence, and they ask you like, what do you think of this? I'm like, wow, these guys really care about what I think. So that has been like a highlight of my life, and just being able to work with all these different artists that I've seen growing up, you know, the Sauti Souls and all that. And just working with people that I'm like, you guys are so cool. You know, me, I'm just a kid from Kitui. But that has been nice. And I've been trying to appreciate more like the stuff that I've done down the line. So
definitely. Pat yourself on the back.
Have
you ever turned down a job?
Yeah, actually I turned down more jobs than I take
For real?
Yeah,
Wait.
sure.
So what would make you say no, or what would make you say yes? Like, what do you look for?
There's a lot that goes into it. Like right now, we're in June. Yeah, my June is so busy. Like I'm going to a shoot after this. I'm shooting a documentary that I'm also going to shoot tomorrow.
Wow.
I have a wedding on On Saturday, I also shoot weddings.
You shoot weddings?
Yeah. And
Wow.
then on Sunday, I have a very cool music video with Wana Vocali
Oh.
that we're shooting that I think I'm going to bring here. I'll bring it first to you guys.
Please, let's come. Let's play it. Bring
Yeah.
them. We can have such an amazing time.
Yeah. So as you can see, like my schedule is so busy. And then on Monday, I have meetings and it's back to back to back to back. So I cannot take up projects right now.
Okay, I
so that
hear you.
will make me turn down a project. But then also, like, I also feel like sometimes artists are not at the same wavelength. You know,
Okay.
are not at the same wavelength. Sometimes you find that the way I'm my style right now and the way that I'm shooting right now, which will change because artists are affected by their environment, you
True.
know, and what they take in, because we are not we do not do things by what we know, but what we feel. And what we feel is affected by the environment we are in.
Yeah.
You know, like right now, we are going through technically a recession. You know, everyone is feeling it. So an artist that is seated somewhere struggling is going to make music that is affected by that environment and what he's in.
Yeah.
So you'll find like some artists, we are not at the same wavelength. Sometimes we're not understanding each other, you know. So I may not be the best person for the project, you know, and I've gotten to the place to understand that sometimes this is not the best for me right now, but it could be for someone else. So I may also direct them to someone else. I'll be like, this guy would help you. Because also like the kind of music that I shoot and like I really like. Because I want to shoot projects that I like. Because when you're seated there editing and you're repeating the song over and over again, it must be something you like. You know?
Yeah.
So like I'll listen to a song and be like, this one is not for me. Yes, it's dope, but it's not my style of what I would love. You know, I like it, but I do not love it. So yeah. So that has made me turn down a few projects here and there.
Okay. I'm so curious. Are there any content creators, videographers, photographers that you look up to?
Yes. Yes, there's a lot of guys who paved the way for us and made it possible for to do what we do. You know, and they told their story, and their story inspired us to be where we are right now. So guys like Mutua Madeka, you know, Mutua is a photographer, videographer, model, everything, entrepreneur, you know,
Jack of many trades.
and these are the guys I sit down and look up to. I'm like, wow, you know, and you meet them and they're so dope in person. You're like, you know what? Those are the guys that's one guy I want to emulate, you know, and also like just artists in general, you know, and guys like I'll say someone like Blinky again, who has done music, production, DJing, all these things, and being a multidisciplinary artist, you know, photographers like Ojuok, you know. And Ujok does not believe me when I tell him he's great, but he's so great. He's so dope. You know, all these different artists. There's a long list. I see their work. They inspire me. I'm like, wow, I need to go out there and do all, and you know, and do all these great things.
Yeah. I see you're rocking a brand that you got to also do content for.
Yeah.
How was that?
Shout out to Metamorphosized.
Yeah.
And Studio 18 guys. You know, these are all young Kenyans who are just trying to get out there. You know, breaking boundaries with street fashion. So, like I said, everyone has to do their part.
True.
You know, everyone has to push from their end, you know, and now we support these brands. When you see someone pushing a Kenyan brand out there, you know, just go. You don't have to go to LCY Kiki all the time. You know, these Kenyan brands who are...
That is true.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Who are pushing fashion, and I feel like also our fashion is dope. It's dope like our music is and our artists are. So, and also all these other big brands. You don't need to bring big directors from South Africa and the States and the UK. These dope directors here who can direct movies and commercials and all these different things. So I would say that we just love and care for one another and support each other and Kenya is great. It's such a dope ass country.
I'm curious. You've done music videos. You do documentaries, weddings. Have you ever thought about maybe filming like a movie, or is that something that you've thought about?
Yeah, for sure. Like that's one of like my end goals, to be able to do like a feature film,
Yeah.
a full feature film. So I don't know. It's just one of those steps that I want to take when it's right.
Okay.
So I've not gotten to do a short film yet, but I always say like music videos are short films.
That is true. Actually.
Yeah, just with musical
music,
elements.
yeah.
It could be a musical short film. So when the time is right, yes, I will do it. I will do it. And when I have like a story to put out there. Yeah, but it's definitely in the works.
All right.
Yeah.
What is CJ like doing apart from work, apart from creating content, apart from editing? What are you doing? What do you like doing as your hobbies, or like to pass time on your free time? What do you like doing?
First of all, I love my sleep. You know, like I've struggled
Me
to wake up today, but I
Yeah,
actually
I
love
hear
my sleep. I do sleep a lot in my free time, but then also a rider. I ride bikes. I love traveling. What else? I just ride and cook and enjoy food, and I like adventure, and I love traveling to all these different locations and seeing Kenya as a just broadly, and going to all these different places that people have not sort of like gone to and shown the world. Yeah, so just everything Kenyan. Yeah, rooting everything Kenyan.
Dope. When did you start riding?
I started riding, I think, in 2018 as a necessity, just being able to get around, because the traffic is crazy.
Yeah, here it's crazy. And you'll
Traffic is
save on
crazy.
fuel too.
Yeah, for sure. It's a cheaper way to get around.
Yeah.
You just have to ride safe, wear your gear all the time.
True. That's lit. I'm curious, where's the furthest you've ridden to?
I've ridden to Arusha. I think
For real?
Yeah, I think that's one of
Whoa.
the farthest. But I want to go farther, like maybe South Africa or something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That is dope. Would you start a YouTube channel?
I already have one.
You do?
I shot one vlog, and then I could shoot a
I-
vlog every week.
I need
I
to
know
go
I could.
Yeah.
It's just that, hey, it's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Talking in front of the camera is not as easy, you know. And I tried it. I was like, yeah, it's cool. And most people told me like, yo, just keep going. This is so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. when I'm in the right moment, I will do it. I
Yeah.
will do it. Yeah.
Is there a motto that you live by?
I don't think I have a motto. I just have like words that ring in my head.
Okay.
And that is just be a man of your word, or a woman of your word, you know. Yeah, just do stuff that you said you do, not what someone said. They didn't put their words in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's you that said it.
It's you
So
that
if
said
you
it.
said it,
Yeah.
just come through with it. And if you can't, just let someone know. And I think if we do that more often, it definitely would be a better place, a better industry.
I hear you.
Everything would be better. Just us doing what we said we'd do. Yeah.
What advice would you give a listener who wants to be able to be a content creator, a videographer, a photographer, somebody who's just trying to be in this industry? What advice would you give them?
I'll tell them to just do it, you know. And I understand like there's a lot of pressure out there, because you see all this dope content,
and you're like,
and
I'm
you're like,
slacking.
my work is just so
Basic, yeah.
But you know, it's basic to you. It's basic to you. Everyone else will see it and they will be like, wow. And
Yeah.
maybe you don't have the big audience that you may want, but all these things take time, you know. And however lame you may think it is, just put yourself out there, you know.
True.
And put it out there. There's someone out there who will like it.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll subscribe to it, and you put it, you put stuff out there again, and then someone will see it, you know. And yeah, just don't be scared to put yourself out there. I know it's scary, you know, it's a big ocean. You're like, wow, what do people think? What do people do? And we constantly have that voice in our head that, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. And you're questioning everything, you know. I don't know if I should do that. I don't know if I should do that.
Yeah.
You're like, should I start that podcast? There's so many podcasts. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of podcasts, but there's not a podcast about you, you know.
Facts.
Yeah, so just put yourself out there. I know it's scary, but might as well do it. The world may come to an end someday, you know. Just be the one who did it.
Yeah. Put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there.
I like that. So I would want to be able to know, what should we expect? What are you doing? What are you working on? Is there a brand that you're working with low key that we should be expecting? What projects are you currently doing that we should be on the lookout for?
I'd say the Wanavokali project. I already told you that. That's going to be cool. We haven't shot it yet, but you're shooting it on Sunday. That's going to be a cool video. The song is already amazing.
Yeah.
Those guys are
Talented.
out of this world. We also have some visuals we're working with Blinky on Blinky's upcoming album.
Okay.
It's going to be called We Cut Keys 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that look out for that. That's going to be nice. We're already planning the visuals. So I think those are the cool stuff that I'm working on. Yeah, other than that, I have the not so cool, boring stuff, the documentaries and the weddings.
I'm so curious. What documentary are you going to be doing?
We're shooting something for a brand called Watu Africa.
Okay.
So today and tomorrow. It's an African brand that just connects the Kenyan artists, the artisans, the guys who make the leather, the bracelets, to an international market.
Okay.
And put it up on their website. They connect them to the photographers and the clients and everything. So it's like an online based market for Kenyan and the international market. So like I said, we're rooting for everything Kenyan, you know? Yeah.
Somebody here is asking, how do you get your jobs? I'm a photographer and I've been trying to get jobs. So how do you get your jobs, or what advice would you give somebody who's looking for, brands to work with, or companies or people? How do they go about finding people to work with?
Like I said, it's going to take a lot of you putting yourself out there. So one thing, don't stop shooting. Don't wait for that client so that you shoot. Shoot the things you like, find the people. When I started shooting, I was shooting my cousins, dogs. I just go outside and see a butterfly. I'm like, let me take a picture of that. You go to Tao on Sunday, you can try street photography, just find ways, creative ways, be curious, and put it out there. Social media is there. It's free marketing. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. Shoot those birthdays. Birthdays they go to events. You go to events. A certain MD may see your work, or a certain marketing person may like it. You do that, and you do that consistently. And like I said, being a person of your word, delivering on time, all these things. And people will always be like, oh, who shot your birthday? Oh, I like your graduation pictures. Who shot those? And just keep moving. I know it may seem like sometimes you hit a plateau and things are not moving, but as long as you just keep doing what you love and keep posting, just keep doing you, someone out there is going to find you.
True.
Yeah.
True. Somebody is asking, your rate card, how do you know how much to put? Like, how do you know your worth? How do you know your value? Because a lot of people might undersell themselves or oversell themselves. So how do you know what price to put or to give?
Yeah.
Or do you stick to just a standard rate?
I'd say there's a lot that goes into putting a rate card up, right?
True.
So, one, experience. Experience is going to be a big factor. 2, client, obviously, who you're shooting for, where the work is going. And then also 3, I think also things like the investment that you've done into it, how much you've spent into the business. That is going to play a big role. Because if you've bought a camera for 500,000, you cannot charge 20,000,
True.
Yeah. So that, and then also the law of supply and demand, business ethics. So the more demand, the more demand you get, then the more the prices should go up, you know. And also, I would say this, as much as also all that goes into a rate card, I feel like also not everything should be charged, you know, especially when you're growing with your people, you're teaming up with all these growing artists. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. So when I was shooting for Metamorphosized, the friend of mine is called Devi. You know, I just told him, like, yo, Devi, you don't have to pay me for this. Let's just go and shoot. And it was like, cool. What can I do? And he gave me this hoodie and a couple of others.
Dope.
You know, so sometimes it's not all about the pay, the pay. And the job that we did actually got me other jobs, you know, and other paying jobs. So, and also, like, if you're willing, just listen to the client sometimes, you know, listen to the client, and also know the amount of work that it's going to take to do this job. And just see how best to quote it. And also, like, go on YouTube, look at what artists are charging, how they're breaking down their costs and in regards to time and all that. And also just look at the market, because hey, things are expensive right now.
Hey, things have skyrocketed.
Things have skyrocketed. So just look at that and put a price that you're going to be happy about. And when you make a compromise, make sure if you're compromising on price, you're getting other things, like just being happy creating that content.
Nice. What would you want to tell your fans right now? I'm sure your fan base has been growing, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I call them fans.
Well, the community, your, I don't know, do you have like a name for the, you know, your family, your...
nataka kutuma salamu kwa. I think I just have an audience. And sometimes it's crazy when, like, I go out there, I meet people, and it's been happening more often than not now. People are like, oh, I really like your work. Really inspiring. It still shocks me to this day, because I'm just a videographer. I just do what I like. And I'm just a boy from Kitui, you know. But I'd say just keep on the lookout. Dope stuff coming. We'll keep working. We'll keep grinding. You know, support Kenyan content and everything Kenyan.
All right. One more question before you go. What brand do you want to work with, or is there somebody that you've always wanted to work with?
I'll say this. Sauti Sol are breaking up, so I can't say Sauti Sol. Our boys are going apart, but I'm sure I'm going. I think just working with, I think Savara. And Savara, if you're listening, I don't know if he's listening, he's probably asleep.
He might see this on YouTube. You never know.
We're always talking about putting content out there together and working together. He had such a dope album, Savage Level. If you've not listened to that, please go listen to that. And I just feel like I really get his music and get his style. And me and him are definitely going to work together, because we've talked about it, but we are going to make it happen. I think that would be cool to work with him.
Nice. CJ, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
It was an incredible conversation. I'm sure you've been able to inspire, change somebody's perspective.
I hope so.
Your journey has just been incredible to watch, from being a photographer to venturing into videography to now being a content creator. You're a director, you're doing documentaries. Please continue with the music videos. And hopefully we'll be seeing you doing film as well, and so many other projects, and getting to work with so many other brands. Keep being an inspiration to other creatives out there. Keep pushing through. And guys, please make sure that you go follow him. It's CJ Pixels everywhere, right? Everywhere. Are you on TikTok? Or
I'm not active on TikTok, but
you do have an account. So it's CJ Pixels everywhere. All right, guys, this has been the 5 a.m. Club. Since you said you really like the Valerie Mudoni Spicy Season song, that's what we're gonna end with. That's what we're gonna end with, guys. It's been an amazing show. Please make sure that you stay tuned. After me is Morning with Russ. Keep it Kenyan, keep it Radio 254. I'ma catch y'all tonight for the date night show.
Yeah.
streets is spicy.